Hello everyone, welcome to 2 and 3D. So today we're going to we'll just continue from where we stopped in the last part. So now I'm going to be working on the hands and other triggers, but for now let me just get rid of most of these stuff, so I do not need them for now. So you can come here, layout, and then you control A and then you delete. I do not need them for now. So let's go back to the rig panel, and we created this, not the head profile, we created a body profile for this character as this. Okay, one thing you need to know is after doing this shareable, you now have sort of like two puppets in one. So if you want to see the head behaviors, the head triggers and whatever that you're putting in the trigger panel, you need to come to the head. When you come to the head, this panel here will change to the head, so you'll be able to fix whatever you want to fix in the head, and it updates in all of these profiles. That's basically it, I think. So you just need to come here if you want to manipulate the whole character. So just take note of whatever you want to fix, then you go into it. I believe you could also click here to like something around here, and you'll be able to get the head too. Yes, so whatever profile you pick, you just know where to touch. So now I'm going to be working on his arms, and I don't think I need all these profiles for now because I'm definitely going to be duplicating. Okay, let's just work with it, it's fine. So let's come down here and let's come to the arm A, and my kind of rigging is a bit unique, so I will not say is something that you could easily learn. It's something that took me so many modifications. I had to modify my initial ones and then reworked, and then I was able to get something like this. So I will say you should stick with the normal ones. In my own case, I use cycles because I do not like going through the stress of like manipulating the hands using draggables. And even if I do, the animation just seems to be off a bit. It doesn't really look very good, especially when you want to do something like foreshortening. I do know that you could do foreshortening with the recent release of Adobe Character Animator, but still there's still a bit of it's just off a bit. It's just better to manually draw these things, and that is why I go in and then I draw every single frame. So you could do that. You could do the old version, the old ways, if you want to just use draggable, or if you're new to Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Character Animator, I would say maybe you should use draggable for a while, and then when you're comfortable, then you start adding cycles, layers, behavior for the hands. It's fine. I used draggables for a while before I started doing this, so it's still cool. So I don't think I want to go through, I don't want you people to go through the stress of like dragging all this. So I'm just going to do a few for my own special kind of character. So what I normally do is I have a finished hand that's it's just one frame, but it does have frames in between. But this is the only active frame. So this is the frame that you would actually see. You understand? I don't know if you get. So these are empty sort of layers, kind of layers. They are not layers, they're actually grouped, but these are kind of layers that are empty, but this is the only active one. So now why I'm doing this is so that I'll have something called an in-between. Just follow it a little, you'll be able to get what I'm saying. So that I'll be able to have something called an in-between, and the in-between will work on this. So whenever I trigger this word will work, but it will go through these empty ones. So in two, so it will wait 2 frames, go from this one to this one to this one to this one, then to stop at this one, which is not an empty layer, which is a layer with the active arm. Maybe I should select that you'll be able to see and disable this default. So you see everything here is visible, but it's just one arm that you are seeing. That is this arm at this position, because these are all empty. and these are supposed to be the in-betweens. So now when I come to, and if you notice there's a what here, what, and then there's #1. This is for me to be able to reference that the in-between that is meant for this action, this layer, the in-between is a #1. So if I come to my IB here, you will see that I do have an IB #1. So it means this IB here has 5 frames just like this one, but now in this case this is the empty version. So these are actually layers with active arms in them that move from like the default position or the normal position of the arm, and then it moves like this up until this point, which is number 5, but this is empty, but this is not. So this will play and this will play, but this will give me the in-between and this will give me the final. So the question that I believe you'll be asking is, why go through this stress? The thing is, with animation, is in-betweens are mostly reusable. These are stuffs that the in-between, like if I do want this arm to point like this, so like he's pointing something instead of this palm kind of thing, that this palm that he has, maybe he's pointing and he's at this point. What happens is the in-between still is the same. It will move from here up until this point, and then there's a point at the end. So why go through the stress of, or why suffering my computer and suffering myself in turn by making an in-between for this and making an in-between for the point? It's way better to just make one in-between and one final frame. So when you do that, whenever you want to come back and fix something in the in-between, maybe the in-between is a bit off or something like that, all you need to worry about is fixing the in-between. So they are like how many arms here? There's so many arms here, like this should be like 20 or something like that, but there are only how many in-betweens? There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are only 5 in-betweens. So it means the in-betweens apply to about 20 hand actions. So that is why this is very, very important if you want to, especially for me that I always work on characters and fix certain things. So this is like when I actually worked on this and it started working, I was really, really happy with myself, and every of my characters now have this feature, and you could implement this on your own. Just get the whole logic. The whole logic is there is an in-between for almost every arm, so you do those in between, and then you make sure you label them with hash, so that when you come to the actions themselves, you put an hash at the end, so that you'll be able to know what in between goes into the action. So let me just rig one of them, and then we would work on then I will do the rest. Yes, so I'm just going to drag this thing and then drag it in and create a swap set. So let me latch them. Okay, so now I don't have to worry about the default, but let me do just these two so that you understand what I'm actually driving. So what we have here is this what, that is this one, has a #1 in between. So I'm just going to drag this IB here. I'm going to drag it into it. Sorry. And then this one has a #2, so I'm going to drag this IB2 into it like this. So let's just work on these two, just so that it's not too complex or too confusing. So let me select this. These are all cycle layers, by the way. So these two are cycle layers behavior. So let's just add a cycle layer behavior to them. I would have loved to add for all, but let's just do these two for now. So, and then let's give this what, this is A, so let's make it Q, and then this one, let's make it W. So now if I go to, I hope this is frontal, yes it is. Okay, so now if I go to my record and I press these buttons, what happens is both of these triggers are active, but one of them has the final frame, the other one is empty. One of them has the in-between, while the in-between in the active is not there. Okay, there is a default attached to it. That is why it just went off like that. So this is not supposed to be the default, so let's just make default. Good. It's just because it was the one that was active. So let's come back. Okay, so now we have our default. So now if I press Q, and I believe when I added this behavior I did not add those features, that is why the thing is going crazy like that. So my apologies for that. So yes, select, make sure those are selected, and then you come down here and you make it 2 so that it moves in 2s, and then you make it large, hold at last, forward and reverse, and hold at last. So just ignore my mistake there. So what is happening in this case now, if I press Q, both of these will play, but then the final one will hold the last. So both played, but the final one, and I understand that it's going behind the body, which is something I'm going to fix very soon, and I'm going to do it in a separate video, so just keep watching. So it goes through and it goes to the end, and this also is supposed to be hand on his chest or something like that. So I'm definitely going to be working on that too, but you get the point. So it's just the in-betweens. Now I can reuse this in-between, this hand moving from here to there. I can reuse it on other actions too. That is why this method is actually really impressive. So I'm going to pause this video and then work on some other few things, and then we'll come back and then we'll conclude. Okay, welcome back. So what we have now is a fully rigged character. I select this and I come to the controls. I've already generated all the controls, so we now have the characters right profile, far right profile, and then the frontal, and we have all these arms and this animation for like taking mic. So let me just take his hand back. When I press this, fix the mic, and it's running very slow. That's why it's a bit slow like this. The FPS is really low, but it actually moves faster than this. So we have this, and then we have him picking his phone like this. So and some other animations that are here, and the facials are working fine. So now what I want to do is to create the left profile, because now these are the right, this is the right, yes, the right profile. So now I want to flip this so that would the character will be able to walk this way too. Well, you could use the same process I used for the head, like making the character shareable, and then you now drag it and then you flip it, but that's not a good method, because now you will now have some certain issues like that you cannot fix, because anything you touch on that shareable file, it applies to the original. So you won't be able to make some edits, some special edits for the right like that. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is duplicating. So I'm going to select right R and just right, select, good, and I'm going to use Ctrl D, but you could also come to this place, edit, and duplicate here, so you just click it, and then now successfully duplicated. This character is pretty much heavy. That's the reason why it's taking this long. So I'm just going to drag it below the frontal. So now we could come here and rename this. Let me rename. Let me rename this to left L. You can give it whatever name, so far as you remember. The left L, and then just left. Okay, so now I'm just going to select both like this, and if you come to this character profiles where all the profiles are available, if you select this, you see left L is here. It's not supposed to be there, so just remove it. If you click on right, you also see left there. It's not supposed to be there, so just remove it. And let's drag it into character. Drag it in. Enlarge. Okay, so now we have this profile, and I'll just come here to the layer and scale it on the x-axis by -100. So I'm just going to put a minus there and then click out, and here to flip the character. Okay, I'm not seeing it very well. Okay, so it is flipped. This is too far out. I'm going to select both like this, click just so that I know where this is, so that I can drag it backwards. So select that and then drag towards like this. It's fine. Good. So instead of actually doing this, I'm just doing this. I'm actually going to be deleting this for the next tutorial, because I actually want to make the character sit. So instead of actually going through and making that feature for this and then coming down to make it for the duplicates also, I'm actually just going to create it for this one, and then I'm going to reflip this. But this is just for this particular tutorial, so at least now you know how to flip the character, how to duplicate and flip the character to create more profiles. So that should be all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, give us a sub. It will help us reach more people, and it will also help you to get more content from us like this in the future. Thank you, and bye for now.